But one year when I was a high school teacher, I actually did that. In September, I wrote a birthday card to every janitor and administrator in the whole system in September, and then I fed them out through the year. I held on to them till a week before their birthday. But I tell you, that year I got my floors waxed 3 times. I got 2 shelves installed in my classroom. I got a DVD and a TV player. And they took that sheet that Dan sent and they cut it into 5 speed key lots.
Okay.
And he told me each week he put one series of 5 on his computer monitor, and in a month he'd figured out the 7 he was going to use, but the 45 that he didn't need. There's a lot of those in there that just quite frankly you're not going to use.
Yep.
But so over an Outlook, I just want it, for me, I want Outlook to do what I think it should do without having to think about doing it. You know, practice makes perfect. Not really. Practice makes habit. While you're on the call, you might just hit Control-Shift-M a few times and then escape just to get used to, oh, that's a new mail. Mm-hmm. Never mind, escape. I've found that this 5-day or 5 repetition, it's enough of a number for us to realize, Dan, like you said, whether something will work or not. And so that's why I always encourage my clients, let's do 5 days of something, or 5 weeks of once a week, or 5 months of once a month. The real challenging ones come in where you do 5 quarters once a quarter and 5 years once a year. Jody and I started that several years ago, and we said once a year for the next 5 years, we're going to sit down after Thanksgiving and just talk about how the year went for us. And over the years, that has turned into a kind of a completion process. But it was really interesting 11, 12 years ago when we decided we need to do this 5 years, 5 times before we know whether or not it's going to work. And so, Dan, kind of on a microscopic level, what I hear you say you did was you tried it, you used it, you realized this isn't supporting me, so I'm going to go back to what did. I don't think we spend enough time studying how we produce or how we focus or how we engage. And if there was anything that seminar gave people an opportunity to do, how do I, and then what happens is when we start to study that, that's when we notice, oh, there might be an easier way to do this, a less stressful way of doing this. Yeah. I deposited a check in the bank today, and someone left their receipt. You know, the Versatel spits out the thing. And the receipt that somebody left said, deposit $370, new balance $280. You know, it's like you're always behind. So how do we get just a little bit ahead? And I think that's the name of the game. Do I clear out my inbox every day? My inbox is clear every day. What I do is any emails that I need to respond to are in the draft folder. And what I found works for me, and this is one of those, it's real. It's like I equate it to how much gas in the car is okay before you have to go get gas. You know, some people it gets below a quarter of a tank and they start freaking out. Other people, they wait till they see the light come on. For me, when I have an email that I'm going to respond to, I immediately hit reply, and my first thing is I throw a sentence into the body, something that I'm going to start replying with. I hit save as draft, and then periodically through the day, I go back to that draft folder. The good news is I've already kind of quasi-started it. Sometimes after a couple of hours, what I wrote, that first sentence, that's actually enough now that an hour has gone by, so I can just hit send. But I'm trying to get my inbox clear every day. You know, the other thing that some clients have done for an experiment is they've extended the time of the auto send and receive. So, you know, for 5 days or whatever you want to try, you know, maybe make it every 45 minutes. It does the automatic send and receive. If you sit down and open up Outlook, there's a new email there. Time will fill up with more to do than we can do. It's just natural. So what we need to do as kind of guardians of our gate, you know, it's this idea that there's a castle, there's a moat, and there's a guard. And I want to make sure that whatever pops across that moat into my castle is a priority. It's important. It's significant. It's getting me moving in a direction. Whenever you start one of these 5-day experiments, today counts, and it's 5 work days, and put it on your calendar on that 5th work day to stop, reevaluate, and decide whether or not you're going to do it or not.